This particular piece was mined in 1975, and it was from the Olympic field at Cooper Pedy, which produced probably the finest opal of its kind, the blue-green crystal. My name is Kenneth Helfand, and I'm the founder of the Opal Mining and Exploration Company in Australia. I began opal mining in 1969 when I emigrated to Australia. I was looking for something that needed to be found, and I ran into this incredible color coming out of a window in a store in Australia. And I walked in and discovered that this color was emanating from opal. And there was something magical about it and the connection I felt, which I needed to find out what that connection was. When I first arrived in Australia, I had $20 in my pocket, and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but I was broke, I had no money. So it had taken me from 1969 until 1971 to get enough monies to where I could go and challenge the opal. And challenging it was just with I had a pick and a shovel, and I had a rope, which was to tie around something to lower me down an old shaft so I could begin mining. I had no money, so I had no machinery, no equipment, and I didn't know what to expect. I was on my own, so I would lower myself down into a hole that was maybe 40, 50, 60 feet deep. From 1969 until I made my first significant strike in 1975. And that's when I found this opalized fossil. It was vertebrae from a plesiosaurus. And in the back, it probably had 80 to maybe 100 vertebrae. And this discovery was made, and I kept 3 1/4 vertebrae for myself for the collection. The other parts were ultimately sold to a museum. So the part I have is quite rare. And the color in the vertebrae, where the opal replaces the actual bone, is gem semi-black opal. So at that time, the miners would have cut stones out of the vertebrae because they saw the value only in the immediacy of making a dollar. For me, I just touched it, and I just felt myself being transported back to when these animals, these reptiles lived. And I just felt a destiny, just something that was so beautiful that I couldn't have them cut. Opal is really a hero's stone. And the people that buy it, they can feel not only the color, they can feel the history in it. And sometimes if they're really, really observant and perceptive, they can feel the blood and the guts and the desires and the love, the hate, the loneliness that went into the finding of the opal and maybe resulted from it. I have beautiful pieces of opal in collections in the museums in Los Angeles, the Smithsonian, New York Museum of Natural History, Boston, Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh. These are major museums in America. There are pieces out of my collection. The materials that I will be bringing to Japan represent really a distillation of my life. There will be the finest fossils, the finest opal, the finest pieces of jewelry that I commissioned to the finest craftsmen in the world over a period of time in the 1970s. And these are things that I will be bringing with me. Well, the dream remains because the dream doesn't change with time. The hair gets a bit grayer. We change a little bit our facial things, our body weights or whatever, but the dream remains, as in all of us. That's the child in us. And the child needs color to play in, to give meaning and purpose to his life. And that's, I think, what Opal is all about, is that color and the child playing. And the warrior in us all. We all have that warrior in us that wants to fight in those battles and bring truth or whatever it is we want to bring. But Opal is absolute. That is the truth, because truth is beauty.